In recent days, the conflict in the Middle East has escalated another notch. For the first time since the start of hostilities, the United States has employed HIMARS systems with greater firepower and in a more sustained manner from bases located in Gulf Arab nations. Launches of ATACMS missiles with precision were carried out from positions in Allied territory, hitting Iranian targets related to air defenses, missile depots, and drones, and coastal infrastructure near the Strait of Hormuz. These operations represent a clear tactical shift. The use of high-mobility rocket artillery from Allied territory allows for faster attacks, with shorter flight times and greater accuracy compared to launches exclusively from ships or aircraft. Iran reacted immediately, publicly accusing the host countries, including Bahrain and Kuwait, of actively participating in the American actions by allowing their bases and territory to be used for the launches. Tehran considers this cooperation a violation of its sovereignty and a direct escalation. The consequences were swift. Iran responded with immediate attacks. Ballistic missiles and drones targeted American bases in the region, including facilities in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. Air defense systems in those countries managed to intercept some of the projectiles, but the incident exposed the vulnerability of Gulf nations that host American forces. The risk of direct involvement of Arab states in this conflict has increased, raising the possibility of a chain of retaliatory strikes and collateral damage to energy and port infrastructure, which is vital for global trade. Meanwhile, commercial traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has practically come to a standstill. Iran has closed the passage until further notice, requiring ships to use northern routes within its territorial waters. Iranian attacks on commercial vessels in recent days have led the United States to carry out new waves of retaliatory strikes, destroying approximately 90 Iranian military targets, including air defense systems, coastal radars, missile and drone depots, and naval infrastructure. Reports also indicate the use of Tomahawk missiles launched from ships and airstrikes by fighter jets, and now most notably Atkins-type rockets, launched from high-mobility RIMERS launchers on Allied soil, mainly Kuwait and Bahrain. If you want access to more in-depth analysis and exclusive content that's only available to members, become a channel member by clicking this Join button right here. This cycle of attacks and retaliations broke the ceasefire that was negotiated in April, and later the Memorandum of Understanding that provided for the safe passage of commercial ships without tolls for 60 days, in exchange for the temporary suspension of the American naval blockade and sanctions on Iranian oil sales. Iran, in turn, claims that the United States violated the terms with new sanctions and military actions, while Washington points to attacks on merchant ships as the cause for the resumption of hostilities. At the center of this escalation is the direct threat from Donald Trump. In a direct post on his social network, Trump stated unequivocally, quote, "1,000 missiles are available, loaded and aimed at the Islamic Republic of Iran, with thousands more ready to follow immediately if the Iranian government responds. Based on your threat, made in many corners of the globe, to assassinate or attempt to assassinate the sitting president of the United States of America, in this case, me," end quote. Trump also added, open quotes, "Orders have already been given, and the American armed forces are ready, willing, and able for a period of a year, subject to extension, to decimate and completely destroy all areas of Iran. Praise be there," end quote. The statement came just a few days after the funeral of the former Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed in an American airstrike at the beginning of the conflict on February 28th. During the funeral, protesters carried banners with the words, "We will eliminate Donald Trump." Khamenei's son and successor, Mojtaba Khamenei, stated in a private written message that revenge is a demand of the nation and must be carried out. Israeli intelligence reports shared with Washington indicate recent Iranian plans to eliminate Donald Trump, reinforcing the context of the American threat. The order to have 1,000 missiles made ready and loaded is not a vague threat. It signals that American forces have already received operational guidelines for an overwhelming and sustained response if Iran carries out or attempts to carry out an attack against President Trump. The one-year deadline, with the possibility of extension, indicates preparation for a prolonged campaign, not just a single strike. The available arsenal includes Tomahawk cruise missiles from warships, ATACMS, tactical ballistic missiles launched from HIMARS, precision-guided bombs dropped by aircraft, and submarine capabilities. The combination also allows for saturating Iranian air defenses, striking underground facilities, command and control centers, and critical infrastructure on multiple fronts simultaneously. Military analyses indicate that an attack of this magnitude would have as its main objective to degrade Iran's ability to threaten navigation in the Strait of Hormuz, to destroy stockpiles of long-range missiles and drones, and to neutralize the command and control systems of the Revolutionary Guards. The mobility of these HIMARS launchers, combined with the use of forward bases in allied Arab countries, reduces response time and increases tactical surprise. At the same time, the threat to destroy all areas of Iran suggests that leadership targets and regime infrastructure would also be within range. The U.S. Treasury Department increased economic pressure by sanctioning Ali Ansari, a financier allegedly linked to Mojtaba Khamenei and the regime's asset networks. Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated that the supreme leader is isolated as the regime collapses and that all tools will be used to financially pressure the Iranian elites. Despite the tough rhetoric, diplomatic channels remain open. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, traveled to Oman for mediated negotiations last Saturday. Hours later, Iran attacked Oman itself. To watch this full video, do what our members do. Become a member and get exclusive access here on the Area Militar channel. Just click this Become a Member button here. Now, I want to know your opinion. Do you believe that these new American offensives should pressure Iran to sign a final agreement to resolve the issues in the Strait of Hormuz and address the nuclear program issue in a separate agreement? Subscribe to the channel here and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. Amen.